A king and a queen lived in a big kingdom. Their home was between blue mountains and a bright sea. They were very kind to everyone, but their hearts were sad because they had no child. They wanted a baby very much. The queen was at a forest pool one day. A small frog hopped onto the green grass. The frog spoke to the queen. It said she would have a daughter very soon. The frog was right. A baby girl was born. The king was very happy to have a daughter. He planned a very big party for her. He invited all of his family and friends. He also invited the wise fairies from the deep woods. He wanted them to be kind. There were 13 fairies in the land, but the king only had 12 gold plates for the meal. He did not invite the oldest fairy to the party. This was a very big mistake. The king did not know she was angry. The party at the castle was very grand. There was loud music and very good food for the guests. After the meal, the fairies began to give their gifts. They used sweet voices to speak to the tiny baby girl. The first fairy gave the gift of being good. The second fairy gave the gift of beauty. The third fairy gave her lots of money. Other fairies gave her kindness and a very nice singing voice. The baby was very lucky. The 11th fairy was just speaking her wish. Then the big door flew open. The 13th fairy walked into the room. She was very angry because she was not invited. She pointed her finger at the small baby. The angry fairy said the princess would prick her finger on a spindle. She said this would happen when the girl was 15. She said the girl would die. Everyone in the room was very scared. They began to cry. The 12th fairy stepped forward to help. She had not given her gift yet. She could not stop the bad curse, but she could change it to be better. She said the girl would not die from the prick. The kind fairy said the girl would sleep for 100 years. The king wanted to save his only child. He told all of his people to burn every spindle in the land. Large fires burned for many weeks. The princess grew up in the castle. She was very wise and very pretty. Everyone in the kingdom loved her. She was just like the gifts the fairies gave her. But she did not know about the bad curse. It was the day of her 15th birthday. The king and the queen went on a short trip away. The princess was all alone in the castle. She went to see the hidden rooms. She found an old tower. She climbed the stone stairs to the very top. She used a small key to open a door. She found a tiny room inside the tower. An old woman was inside. She was spinning flax on a wooden spindle. The princess asked about the strange tool. She thought it looked very funny. She reached out her hand to touch it. This was part of the bad fairy's plan. The sharp point pricked her finger right away. The princess fell onto a bed in the room. She fell into a very deep sleep. Her eyes closed tight. The sleep spread through the whole palace. The king and the queen came home and fell asleep too. All the people in the castle fell asleep. The horses in the stable and the dogs grew very still. The birds on the roof did not move. The flies on the wall stopped moving in the sun. The fire in the kitchen went very quiet. The meat on the fire stopped cooking. The cook fell asleep while he was talking. The maid fell asleep with a feather in her hand. Everything was very still. The wind stopped blowing in the garden. The leaves on the trees did not move at all. Sharp thorns grew around the castle. The hedge grew taller every year. Soon the whole castle was hidden from view. People could only see the tops of the towers. Many people told stories about the sleeping girl. Many princes tried to get through the thorns, but the thorns were as strong as iron. The men died there. 100 years passed by. A new prince came to the country. He heard the story of the hidden castle. He heard about the beautiful princess. He wanted to see her with his own eyes. The prince was very brave and strong. He told an old man he was not afraid. He wanted to find the girl. The 100 years were over on that day. He went to the thorns in the woods. The thorns turned into big flowers that smelled like honey. They opened up to let the prince through. Then they closed behind him. He saw the sleeping animals and the sleeping people in the yard. He went inside the quiet castle. He saw the king and the queen on their thrones. It was very quiet in the halls. He could hear himself breathe. He climbed the stairs in the old tower. He opened the door to the tiny room. The princess was on the bed. She looked very lovely. He looked at her face. He leaned down to kiss her. Her eyes opened. She loved him right away. The king and the queen woke up. They were very happy to see their daughter. The horses shook their hair. The dogs began to bark. The fire started to burn again. The meat began to cook. The castle was full of noise again. The prince and the princess got married. There was a big party with music. They lived in peace for a long time. They were happy forever and ever. The memory of the sleeping years was gone. The people in the village were happy too. The sun shone on the bright sea every morning. The kingdom was full of life and joy. The prince and princess lived in love. The flowers in the garden grew very tall. The thorns never came back to the castle. The king and queen were old and happy. They saw their daughter smile every day. Life was very good in the big kingdom. The princess never forgot the kind 12th fairy. She was thankful for her life. She was a very good queen later. She helped the poor people in her land. Everyone remembered her story for a very long time. The birds sang in the trees every day. The wind blew softly over the blue mountains. The kingdom was a place of peace. The magic was gone, but the love stayed. Everything was quiet and calm at last.